Welcome back to another video today, my friend. I'm Blake and you're you, and this is a wacky deck out of my brain. So, I'll just explain it, and what I want your help with is, if you think it's interesting, let me know what you would call it in the comment section, because I'm having a tough time coming up with a name. So here is the impetus of the deck. The new card, Arc Spitter, seems really bad out of New Capenna, but we're going to make this card incredible, and it is going to be the bane of existence for our opponents. So, if you're not familiar, which a lot of people won't, it's a 1-mana artifact, equipment. It says, equipped creature has pay 1. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature that's blocking it. Equip for 1. Now, that is really good if your creature has Death Touch. It becomes, if you block this, I can pay 1 and kill your creature. If you block with 3 creatures, I can pay 3 and kill all of them. So, I want to pair this with Rune of Mortality, which I can put on this, giving any equipped creature with this Death Touch, meaning it's really hard to block. And if we're going to run that, let's just go full Rune build is where I'm going. So we're running 4 copies of the Runeforge Champion out of Kaldheim. Actually a pretty good card. There are some Rune decks around. This one is different than any I've ever seen. So this card comes in and you can go and search for any Rune in your deck and put it into your hand. It also reduces your Rune cost to 1 colorless, which is really good. And it's a 2/3 for 3, which will also go and get either our 2 copies of the Lifelink Rune, or our 1 copy of the Trample Rune, or any of our 4 copies of the Death Touch Rune. Now this is a funny mini combo. Actually, I cut that out, sorry. I was toying around with the card that reduces enchantments by 1, but getting your runes for free versus 1 isn't that big a deal. So we are leaning into the enchantment theme here by running 4 copies of the Satyr Enchanter. So anytime we cast a rune with this guy, we get to draw a card. Just some other little combos. Now, we're also just making it a straight Death Touch deck. So even though almost none of our creatures have natural Death Touch, we're going to run 4 copies of Fynn the Fangbearer. Now this is the perfect combo we want to set up, where if we put any creature with Death Touch on it, they don't really want to block it. They want to just take the damage. And we're running a lot of small creatures that don't do a lot of damage, so there's not a lot of pressure to block. But if we have Fynn out, it now becomes 2 poison counters, and they're in a really tricky spot where they don't know if they're supposed to block or take 2 poison counters, and it's awesome. Now also, running 2 copies of King Harald's Revenge. This is acting as a weird sort of removal in the deck, so that we can force people to block our creatures whenever they don't want to. We're running 2 copies of Questing Beast. It's just an amazing card with natural Death Touch. It's Planeswalker removal. It's awesome. We're running 4 copies of Heartless Act, which is just good removal, and then 2 copies of Eliminate to get stuff out of the way early. 1 Lion Sash, just testing this in the list for Grave Hate. 1 Kor Blademaster, giving all of our equipped warriors double strike. So getting this with Double Strike and Death Touch works really well with Fynn. Fynn himself is a warrior, and the Runeforge Champion is also a warrior. So a lot of warriors in the deck. The Blademaster can give them Double Strike, making the Fynn even more nasty. And then we have 2 All That Glitters, which is +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment you control. It's pretty easy to get a stack of 4, 5, or 6 enchantments when you get multiple runes on your Arc Spitters. And that is the deck. So I'm super excited to jump into some games and show you guys this wacky gameplay. So again, let me know what you think a good name for this deck would be, but I'll see you guys in the first match. Okay, jumping into our first game here. Not a great opening hand. We do have access to Heartless Act, but we don't have any white, and we don't have a lot to do, and especially on the play, I just don't think we can keep that hand. Now we're going to have to probably get a little greedy and also hope we get lucky and play the right land. I think we'll go ahead and keep 6. It's a little risky. Toss a Questing Beast. Both of these have access to green. Black is the color we play the least of, so I think I'm going to lead with white and hope for the best. Black is the least important. It's mostly just removal and then our Death Touch runes, which obviously the Death Touch runes are essential, but most of our cards are white or green. So just a note in case you run the exact deck list I'm running and you want to test it out. They should be thoroughly confused by this point by what we're doing. I would guess they see only 2 lands, that because we have 2 Runeforge Champions, they would maybe toss the beast. Okay, and they throw one champion. That's fine. Now this does need double green if we ever get there, so that's also tricky. But I think I want to get black just to get the Heartless Act available, because I think we're going to have to basically just play defense here and hope that we can come back a little bit. So going to play black here and just hope we find the green later. This is unfortunate. Obviously not the spot you want to be. Not a great showcase for the deck, but sometimes you just miss your lands. Another Thoughtseize. He sees another champion. I'm going to guess he's going to toss Heartless Act here. But we'll see what he does. Gets rid of another champion. And this is just a tragedy that happens occasionally. But he also doesn't have any permanents, so we sort of are fine. And then he finally finds his third land, which I'm guessing is what he was looking for. We'll just go ahead and Heartless Act it now, because that's what we have access to right now. We can't miss lands forever, so let's just see if we can hold on. He's taking a lot of damage from his own Thoughtseizes. That's fine. We'll just repeat this. He also has missing lands, he or she. So we'll go ahead and play our Arc Spitter, I guess. Don't know if he's caught on yet what we're trying to do. We're running such a funky list. Okay, white or black. Probably doesn't matter. I don't think we have any double white or double black. So we'll just go white. This is pretty good. This will get us a little card draw going. This will get our combo set up for next turn. So we're going to Runeforge Champion. He will exile it, but that's not great. But getting to get the rune and then draw a card next turn will feel pretty good. That will feel pretty good still. We really are just hoping we have enough time now at this point with him getting... This card is a beatdown, Edgar is. It just transforms back and forth. Very hard to deal with. Just because this card is known, let's go ahead and slap it down and draw. We need a green source. We need a creature to play. That will do. I think I'll pay the 2 life so that I can also play this turn. If we find a green source next turn and can play Questing Beast and put this on it with lifelink and adding lifelink to it, could be pretty good. And then getting an All That Glitters down on top of it, we could still come back here. That's going to be a lot of life gain, unless they do probably still have removal as few cards as they played. They probably had a removal heavy hand, but I'm starting to think we might have a chance. Okay, we don't see double green, so I think our play is to cast the Satyr and see if it can live. It probably doesn't. So we'll attempt to put the Spitter on it, but it probably gets killed in response. But we gotta make him play his cards. Okay, that's good. If this can last till next turn and we can play this on top of it, then we're getting somewhere. But I feel like that's a low chance. Death Touch Lifelink, practically unblockable. Next turn can become a 6/6. Yep, certainly expected something like that. But we're getting that removal out of the way, protecting our Questing Beast. Second green, and now we're going to be popping. Now, we do have 2 options. This puts lifelink on it, which is good. Gain 4. That's an 8-point swing. Or we put this on it, and it also gains 4. 8-point swing, except we don't gain any life. I think the Spitter's better, because we can always do All That Glitters next turn. I think the Spitter's slightly better there just to put us in a little bit safer range. If it's an 8-point swing either way, I think I lean towards the side that gains me life in this situation, because I'm not exactly sure why, but that just felt right to me. And we do see the exile. That is unfortunate. The other benefit of that is we don't lose a second permanent this way, whereas if this would have got exiled when it was on our Questing Beast, we would have actually lost 2 permanents, which would have been quite sad. Now we are in a pretty uncomfortable position, and we're just trying to draw something playable. So, match 1, we see the deck doesn't necessarily mulligan well. That's fine. But we also had an unlucky start where we were short on land, so we'll see. I feel like it had the resiliency where it could have pushed through if we would have just got a lucky draw or two. But that's fine. Sometimes that happens, you know. They got this one for us. So let's see another one. Okay, so seeing if we can get a better start here. Having access to every color feels really good. Seeing a champion and a spitter feels really good. We have a removal spell. I think this is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. I think it makes sense to start with forest just because these can come in for either color later, which is totally fine. I'm thinking black and white. This turn, I do think we'll just go ahead and turn on our lifelink on our spitter, draw us a card, give us just a little more information for next turn, I think is a positive thing. And then right now I'm looking at if they play a really dangerous threat, eliminate, or probably just going Runeforge Champion. Pretty easy decision here. Go Runeforge, search our library for Rune of Mortality. We'll play this next turn, of course, and put it on the champion. In green-white, I don't know exactly what they could have, but getting to play this for one, I think, feels pretty good. Now we do have the option of we can either equip and attack, deal 2, gain 2, or we can simply hold up removal. They've got 3 mana available. Let's go ahead and get this on. We can always kill whatever they have next turn. Pretty confident in green-white. They're not going to have any flash or even very much instant speed removal. They're probably just struggling here, I would guess. Now we've got a real decision. Because of their colors, I think we just go Questing Beast and make them have an instant to deal with us. Yeah, we're looking real good. I mean, sometimes on the ladder, we're in an early season, they're in gold, you just play against decks that aren't good or players that are learning the game. So, I mean, you don't play anything until your 5th land drop, you probably just lose practically any game. And we're actually kind of fine here. I mean, he hits that, and then we just throw the spitter on Questing Beast, and we're still kind of fine. So, not in a bad spot at all. Next turn, our non-creature spells will cost more. I think we want to get lifelink on here. And then I think we just set up, our enchantments will cost more next turn, but the champion can let us pay one. I don't know if that gets taxed. Let's go ahead and grab champion, because I think getting our 1 trample here is pretty darn good. Oops, I actually could have played that this turn, which is my mistake. Left a little damage on the table, but sometimes that happens. We'll do this now. And then we want to put it on the Arc Spitter. Draw our card, and now we're in a pretty good spot. And the reason we go trample there is because if you do attack into them, and then let's say we ping down the thing, then we still get to do all the fun stuff. So let's do combat first. And let's see if he chumps here. He has trample, you'll see what I mean. Okay, looking really good. I think we just throw this out and then hold up the Eliminate or the Heartless Act on their turn in case they play a really good creature. But I think we're just going to snatch the win with this one. Hard to say if the deck really is running optimally whenever you play against such a bad matchup. Hard to say. Hard to say how good this deck is just yet. Let's find out. Alright, come on, Crimson Crow. I feel like I've got it. Let's see if you feel the same way. They could have a board wipe. But if they do board wipe, then we go Questing Beast and probably win. So either way, I'm feeling really good here, and that's the win. Let's see if we can get a better, more competitive match in this next one. Okay, jumping into another game. Similar situation to last time. We see all colors. We see a spitter and a champion. I think that's a totally fine start. We'll just start with the Overgrown Tomb because that's the easy decision. Hello, my pet Kabu. Welcome, welcome. I love when people say hello. It's quite nice. Portable Hole is hilarious. Doesn't even know what I'm doing and hits the Arc Spitter because that's probably their only play available to them. Not a huge difference either way. We'll go ahead and grab a white source and see what is in store. Playing blue-white. Artifacts and enchantments. Not familiar with this list. They might also be running something funky, which I always appreciate. What are they going for? Definitely they're caring about artifacts right now. Let's get a second green, set up our questing beast. Now the question is, do we go Enchanter or do we go Champion? If we do Champion now, we can put a rune in hand, and then if we draw a land, we can go Enchanter into that rune, which I think is good. Mortality's pretty fine here. It's not as good without the Spitter, but being able to also put Fynn down makes it a little more interesting. Curious to see what exactly they're going for. I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here. Okay, probably just an All the Glitters deck. That's probably all they're doing, and it's going to be quite good against us. Protection from multicolored. So I think the first thing we have to do is just destroy... Ooh, this has a counter on it. Wow, that is such a sad problem. In that case, this also has Trample, which is obnoxiously good. I think we just put in Fynn. And we'll go ahead and do this. Give us 2 things with Death Touch just in case. It was a sad combo that the Heartless Act specifically cannot hit the Serpent because it has that one silly counter. The Trample is going to do a good amount of work. Plus a flyer, plus an unblockable. I mean, we were really just a card away from being fine. Now, if we draw Lifelink, we also could come back. So that will get pretty interesting. The ideal situation would be if he holds this back because he's afraid of the Death Touch, and then we revenge next turn. If he swings with both of these, that's what I'm hoping for. Yes. Okay. We're actually still in a pretty good spot here, guys. I think he should have just tossed the Serpent in because I don't know what he's expecting to do about these. If he's hoping we'll attack. These are unblockable, so we can pretty much play as if they're not there. And then here we're in a pretty fun situation where we get to choose 4 mana. Does that change anything? Probably not particularly. I think we just inner-tapped, save our life here. We probably want to keep Fynn alive. It's probably doing slightly more work. So until end of turn, target creature +1 must be blocked this turn if able. So we'll do this. It's not going to get through, but we're just effectively turning this into a removal spell to get rid of this Serpent. I think we can work our way out of this one. Ooh, good game. That was so smart. So if he swings here and we block here, he deals 5 total. So I'm not going to throw in the towel yet because you never know. As long as they don't have lethal, because we can block 3 of this 7. And that'll be game. Good job. Okay, jumping into another game, we have a pretty different hand. But I think as long as we see all of our colors, we're pretty much fine to keep anything. And then we have a couple different ways to play. We're going to lean a little heavier on Fynn here, probably. Trying to put some early pressure with those Death Touch counters. Thoughtseize will probably mess up our whole plan. He'll probably just toss Fynn, is what makes total sense. But we do have the 2 Heartless Acts to help us hold on. We can just trade 1 for a little while and go from there. He actually tosses Heartless Act, which I was not expecting. We'll put the Temple Garden in tap to save our life since we don't have any 1-drops. Maybe he has another Thoughtseize and he's going to hit this Heartless Act too. So we're seeing white, black, blue. So some kind of Esper deck. Could be an Esper mid-rangey build. I know that's an archetype. Ledger Shredder, pretty good card here. I think the correct play for us, since this is going to get a bunch of counters on it, is to destroy this now while it has 0 counters on it before it's a problem. Because that can just get you a lot of card advantage at minimum, and then all of a sudden, if you let it go for a couple turns, it's dealing 4 or 5 to your face. So we are going heavy Connive deck, which is interesting. So it's probably an Esper Graveyard deck. So, could be Greasefang. I know there's some Esper Greasefang lists running around. Be curious to see what he goes for here. Probably the Heartless Act again. Especially if it is Greasefang. We'll have to watch out for their graveyard. Enchanter, smart play there, I think. Let's go ahead and put down this forest and just put out Fang, or Fynn rather. This will not get bigger than 3-2. It only connives that one time. Another conniver. Let's see what, we'll pay attention to what he throws in the yard here. If he does throw one of those big equipments, then we have to save the Heartless Act for Greasefang. That is sort of what I'm anticipating we see here. I don't think it helps us too much to put an All That Glitters for +1/+1 on Fynn. Makes him a 2/4, which he could still kill. So I think we just enter tapped here, and I think we're just holding on, hoping for a top deck that can get us something meaningful. Runeforge Champion would be pretty good to see here, because it would effectively draw us 2 cards almost. It puts the rune in hand, and then the rune draws us a card. I am tempted to take this trade, but since we're not under a lot of pressure, I'd rather keep Fynn available for pressure later. That's fine. You can have that. Let's pay attention to what he does here. I'm expecting a big equipment. I am. One of the big vehicles. Okay. Nothing yet. Another informant. See what they toss. Okay, nothing too dangerous yet. Let's see, we got lots of green and white. We'll get another black source. Same situation, honestly. If he swings all of these, I'll probably block the big one because that's going to start to get a little bit out of hand. But Fynn is also our only permanent at the moment, so that's a little bit of a problem. Raffine. Yeah, I think we have to kill Raffine. I think Raffine gives you too much value. We'll pay the extra and get rid of Raffine. So this is probably just Esper mid-range. It's probably not Greasefang. I know Raffine does a lot of work in those lists. And we just need to draw anything but this. Anything but these lands. Come on. Mana flooded, and it's not looking too good. Luckily, they're also down to 2 cards, so, like, it wouldn't take that much for us to be fine. I guess we'll hold on to that. It doesn't hit Raffine, so... Oh, it would hit Raffine, even. So we probably just save this in case they draw another Raffine. These 2 cards, if we lose to these, we just have to lose to them. I mean, we can't be spending removal on these that are just such nothing cards. And here's Greasefang. Does he have anything to bring back with it? He doesn't. But it's still a scary enough card that I think we just hit it and not let that happen. It's also a 4/3. Ooh. I think this is a brutal scenario where we just use this as a 2-mana draw 1. Okay, seeing Fynn makes me feel better. And then I think we're with an extra rune, it's worth putting this on for that protection. We'll keep one card in hand just to keep them guessing. We have a blocker here. We're trying so hard to stabilize. There, you know, dump one big creature in here and reanimate Greasefang, and we're done. Attacking gains us nothing at the moment. We just need that permanent for blocking. Okay, we're in a sticky situation. We've drawn a lot of lands. We're gonna keep him guessing still. Hold 2 up, act like we got a bunch of removal. Make him nervous. Okay, we'll play 1. And then still make him think. The fun part about this deck is it tops off at 4 CMC with the Questing Beast, so you don't need a lot of mana. Now we are... Oh my gosh. Guys, come on! We'll make him think we have 2 spells, though, so that could at least keep him slow. That's obnoxious. We can Heartless Act it, though. No, we can't really. Interesting. We at least get a free chump block, though. It can never kill Fynn, so that's kind of good. If we get into a spot where they like play out their hand or something, we can Heartless Act it. But yeah, makes sense. Ooh. Now we do have to hold this up in case he plays Greasefang. But we can hit Greasefang. Haha! Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I wasn't trying to troll, I promise. I'm sorry. See if we can come back, though. He was nice about it. Thank you. Come on! You guys know how it be. Sometimes it just be like that. I mean, they are a card away from victory. I mean, they get another Greasefang or any revival spell, and they just win. Another Hollow Blade. Okay. Yeah, there you go. I think we just block this Hollow Blade, see if he wants to discard another card. It's probably a land, so he's probably fine with it, but we're going to take 6, and unless we get something valuable right now, this turn, we lose next turn regardless, because we'll be at 3. And he does toss the big ol' equipment. This actually could bring us back, because we'll be able to gain 4. And we can just keep slapping down a bunch of these. Here we go. Okay. Can we come back? This is going to get interesting. Let's get another Rune of Sustenance, actually. And let's put this thing on the champion. It's going to make Fynn even bigger. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. We're also going to do Trample on Fynn and get rid of this Hollow Blade. We have a shot here. That was a turn. That was a turn. I mean, we dug through so many lands, we just had to start drawing gas eventually. We're going to get to do 7, gain 8. Probably still lose to a Greasefang, but he has to draw that specifically. Otherwise, we're actually in a pretty good position. I think this could be a comeback. Let's see. We still have to get a touch lucky here. That was a fun turn. That was so cool. Let's see. We started off with what? Just all that glitters. So we played 1, 2, 3 runes in a row that time. He does have a discard. Why did we not get life gain? Oh no, guys. I did not know that this had to go on an enchantment, or on an equipment. I should have won this game. Oops. Crap. That is so sad, guys. Oh, I think I'm going to count that as a win in my heart, but I'm also recognizing that I made a mistake, but I learned something. So if you're playing this deck, don't put your runes on all that glitters. Put it on the creature. Simple mistake. I didn't gain anything for putting it on the equipment anyway. Okay, that's alright. You learned something. I learned something. That's good. I think I had the win. if I wouldn't have made that one mistake, which I learned from. Let's get another one. Okay, so after that mistake-ridden game, we just can't keep a one lander. This is looking much better. All of our colors and Arc Splitter and Rune of Mortality. The question is what to toss. On the draw, I think we just get rid of Heartless Act. Because we need a permanent to be able to play out, and then this can draw us into more stuff. The correct play might be to keep Heartless Act and get rid of this rune, because it is a lot easier to find this. You've got multiple ways to do that. So that certainly could be the way to go. We'll just start with one of our shrines. So I don't know what the play is there. This could be wrong, but I really like the idea of getting this out early. I think we should have a decent matchup against this deck. I think if we can get especially one of our lifelink runes, we should be fine. We'll see. We'll see what they do here. Next turn could be pretty decent to Fynn onto the Arc Splitter. They probably, though, this deck might have artifact removal. Which that could be a blowout pretty quickly. And he finds the Terrarium. That's a cool card to run in this deck, actually. He gets to sack it and it just cantrips. That's pretty cool. I have not run Terrarium in my Anvil decks that I've played, but I actually like that play quite a lot. Heartless Act probably doesn't do too much. The only thing we would probably want to hit with it would be a Mayhem Devil. So I think my play is Fynn into a Spitter. Is that right? He's just going to sack this stuff anyway. Fynn gives me a nice blocker. We'll play this. We'll go Fynn. We'll put the Spitter on Fynn. And we'll go from there. If he plays Ob Nixilis, I don't exactly know what we do. Oh, this is probably worse. Certainly worse. Wow-wee! It's indestructible. I think we just lose to that. I did not know this was a thing. Holy cow. Indestructible. Exiles the top 20 cards of your library. Yeah, I don't think I have anything for that. I'm just going to give it to him. Good game. Good job. Good job. That's where the Heartless Act should have stayed in my hand, I guess. Available. Okay, I would like to see if we can get one more good showing out of the list before we shut this video down. We've got all our colors. We've got the Runeforge Champion. Let's just go for it. We see Eliminate, which if they're running Bugbear could mean an aggressive deck, which means Eliminate is actually going to be nice. Probably maybe even just hit that. Let's go ahead and put down a Forest and hold up this Eliminate and see. I'll probably let it go. If he attacks now, I'm going to let it go. But then if he doesn't play anything else, okay, that's fine. I think we just slow his roll here. Hit this. I think it's totally fine. Getting Runeforge, I think, is pretty good. Search your library. We'll grab Mortality Rune. Goblins. Yep. Okay, we're seeing goblins here. Goblins you control. Get +1/+0. If he plays that, he can do as many times as he wants. Couple options here. Couple options. We have 4 mana if we want it. But that's not super helpful. Or maybe it is helpful. Maybe... Okay, I'm thinking we go this turn. No, I don't think that helps us a lot. We could set up this to get double draw. Or do I King Harald now and kill one of these? That would make him a 3/4, which would kill both of those. Okay, I'm talking myself into King Harald's Revenge. because he either gives us a free creature or he trades 2 for 1, which is 2 for 2 with King Harald, but it slows him down, which I think is only positive here. I'm actually hoping he double blocks. Sure, and we'll take that then. And then we just throw down a tap land and see what happens now. I feel like he definitely wants to get aggressive and go for a lot of damage. War Boss is good. War Boss is a fun card. Okay. More options. Let's play this. I think we just get blockers out for now. These two at least have really good blocks. I'll probably save my Enchanter because drawing 2 cards when we play the rune feels really good to me. Ooh, that's dangerous. That's so dangerous. 3, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14 with the War Boss. So if he swings it all, we have to block. Ouch. Probably good game. Holy cow. If we would have had Heartless Act up to get rid of the Bandit Lord, we could have done some good things. Just in theory, what if we do this? 3, 6, 9, 12. We gotta try this. We gotta leave ourselves an out to win. Don't know what that would be. Let's start with this. Draw 2 cards. Now if we can just hit a lifelink rune, we got a chance. Alright, we gotta go for it. We gotta hit that lifelink rune. It's not gonna do it. 8, 9 death touch. Not enough. Good game, Powerful Magic. Good game. You got me. Well done. Yeah, the deck's funky. It's got fun combos, but when you play these silly combos that you make up yourself, you give up a lot. Okay. Interesting choice of hand here. I think being able to start with Fynn, and then if we do miss our land drops, being able to just start playing runes to cantrip feels pretty solid, I think. So let's do that. We don't have a 1-drop, so we just save our 2 life. Next turn we play Fynn, and then we look for the 3rd land. I think we still go Fynn here. I don't think that's the right play. But looking for a land to play this so that when we start playing our runes, we're drawing 2 cards, I think is a pretty good setup. Even if he removes Fynn, I think that's fine. Next turn, if I don't draw land, I actually think I'm still leaning towards just playing Arc Spitter so that I can put one of each of these on the Arc Spitter. I think gets pretty awesome. So we have green and we have white. Let's pay our 2 life. Let's see if they flash something in. Could be rogues, so we could eliminate if they flash in a rogue. Alright, yep, that's fine. That's fine. Now my question, I think we still just go Enchanter, and then next turn we go Arc Spitter into Mortality, draw 2, probably get our 4th land drop that way, and set ourselves up for the late game. He's really looking at this Enchanter. He might even blow up the Enchanter, which would not be great, but it'd be fine. Ooh, that is obnoxious. Luckily, I think we're still okay. But we play this, we have access to black. We have black, black, we have white, white, we don't have double green yet, so let's get that down. Let's put this here. Okay, that's a good card to draw here because that is our biggest Planeswalker removal. So he ticks this down, which would be fine. It would make a lot of sense. But then Questing Beast can come in and hit him in the face, probably. Even if he plays the Rider, he can get past the Rider because he can't be blocked by little things. That's perfect. That's perfect. So we'll go ahead and play this. And then we'll swing in with our Questing Beast, which is so good against Planeswalkers.
Clearly, the shortcomings
And
here were mine.
then I think we just put this on the Enchanter, create 2 tough targets to deal with. I don't think you really ever benefit that much by putting your Spitter on the Questing Beast. Sometimes you could, I guess, if you just really need to make a really tough block for them. If they've got a big thing, actually.
I'm impressed anyone would be so foolish. There are many who have turned
That's
weakness
fine. We
into a
can do some
virtue.
fun things here. Annoying, but fine, I think. Playing against Dovin is a good test for this deck, because it's all the kind of stuff we want to be doing. I think let's start right here. See if he wants to give us the rider for free. Thank you. He sees the combo. He gets it. Panda Master 148 gets it.
Astonished that succeeded.
We'll get another creature down, which is great. We'll search our library. We'll go ahead and get our Rune of Might. It's the last one to end the little combo. And we will put said Rune of Might on the Arc Spitter. We've got a nice little stack here. And then just to round it out, we'll get the Lifelink rune on there. And now we've got our trifecta of runes over here. Feeling quite good. We've drawn several cards. We are in a power position now. Do we keep going? I think we wait. I think it's better to put these on the Sash. The Sash is a hilarious combo because it can be a creature that we can equip, and then it can also become a equipment. It's also graveyard removal, so I don't think it's relevant here, but a one of feels pretty good to draw this card, I think, and that's expensive right now too. We have pretty much guaranteed KO of Dovin next turn, I think, especially with our Eliminate, even if we have to pay it more expensively. But it depends on what they do. They've got a good amount of mana to work with. What is this?
If nothing else, time to improvise.
Okay. So we can make something phase out. We have Trample here, though, which is nice. Yeah, makes sense. I think this is actually a bigger problem for us, so I think we swing our Trampley boy here. Or do I just eliminate? This is good, but I don't think it's like winning them the game. The question is, do I need to equip anything or do anything before we get started? I guess probably. I guess putting the Sash on the Champion actually allows us to make sure that he doesn't get a free block, because we can also then put this on the Sash. So I think that's all pretty good. And then now he doesn't get a free block. He can phase it out, but we at least make him do that. And then I don't think this extra 2 damage here is fine. I think we just throw it at Teferi, even though Questing Beast next turn is probably going to be able to get through. And the reason I'm throwing Enchanter at this one, even though it's bigger, is because of that Trample. If he phases out, I want the Trample to go through. So we've got him in a fairly uncomfortable position here, which I think is really good. I think we're in a pretty powerful position. We paid a lot of mana to do all that stuff, but we also got a lot of setup here. I love this little animation for Teferi stuff. That's really cool. Just the simple touches. The simple touches that make Arena pretty nice. It's not a perfect game. It's not a perfect system. The UI is not great, but I do think the animation is pretty top-notch. Not gonna lie. Tosses Sarkhan. So this is just a random Planeswalker deck. Red, blue, black. Mardu, not Mardu. Grixis Planeswalkers. And then Dovin is not actually, they're not actually playing white, they're just playing him as a blue Planeswalker. Which ended up being pretty obnoxious in this case. He's in an uncomfortable spot. Okay, great.
Can't be denied.
We accept.
I am beaten.
Sure. Let's play this rune. Put it on the sash. Go ahead and give our lifelink setup here 2. All seems pretty good to me. Draw 2. We've just got a loaded hand. We have so many resources. It feels like it'd be pretty hard for them to come back from all the cards we've drawn with the Enchanter plus our runes. Plus next turn, Questing Beast can probably just get through basically for free. I mean, he doesn't get Trample yet. Or I think we played our 1 green rune, yeah. So we could actually put the Spitter over here to give Trample, which might actually be a good play considering Teferi is getting a lot of card selection for them. I'm nervous about that. Seems like they have something to do there. So no need to block. Yeah, there you go. That's where Lion Sash is sick. That is a sick card. I'm debating if we even need to do anything or if we just... I think we just make this guy bigger. Yeah, let's exile some cards. And then I guess it's probably pretty safe to reconfigure here just to protect the Lion Sash. I think that's smart, especially since we have so many things on it, and then we can do this now and make both of these cards bigger. Any of these would be bad for them to bring back. So let's go ahead and do all these fun things. We'll swing in for 6, which will also hit Teferi. Murderous Rider makes a lot of sense there. And I'm glad now that I left the Lion Sash. Let's go ahead and get us down another Enchanter. A little weak, or a little risky. We're kind of wanting this to stick around, but that's okay. And then we can go ahead and put down a Pathway, and we'll just throw this on the Enchanter just to spend that 1 mana. We didn't get rid of Teferi, which is unfortunate. But mostly, we just have to watch out for that -10. The card selection's good, but it's not gaining him value. Ooh, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Yeah, we really just got to watch out for the -10, which he's sort of actually in a position to do here.
This battle to your record of bad decisions.
Luckily, we're going to have some options here. Drawing into another enchantment would be ideal to get some stuff going. Let's go ahead and just get all the mana down. We can't kill this, but I actually think killing Dovin is pretty good here, just because we cannot let this be protected. And I do not want his ability to be turning off our damage we've got coming. That's good.
Incorrect.
Even if he puts, he'll probably put this down, but I think we actually just Heartless Act that. Because this has to go down. We can't risk that 10 damage. Or that -10. We can't risk that -10.
Time to improvise.
Too much cycling. Yeah, -10 is way, way, way too close.
You don't look scared.
Oh man, 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 man.
My friend is here.
Putting the pressure on, huh? Well, first, let's equip this. And then, I do think we need to get rid of this. And then, let's resolve that. We don't really need another rune, but we'll just put it on here because it's protected, but I just want to draw 2 cards more than anything. And if we get an All That Glitters here, we can be in a really great spot. Perfect. King Harald's here is great, great, great. Because we're going to make him block the big guy that has trample. We're going to gain a bunch of life and hit this. And then I think I'm just going to send Fynn here, get 2 poison counters. Because 1, taking 4 versus taking 5 isn't a game changer in this situation, I don't think. Because this isn't winning him the game, especially with no cards in hand. He can't even keep the cards he's drawing. We're just looking out for the -10 more than anything. But I think we're actually in a pretty good spot. We can also just hold up Heartless Act next turn in case he plays something good. It won't hit a Planeswalker, but it'll hit any of his little creatures, which creature-wise we've actually only seen the Riders. So he might not even be running any other creatures besides those. So Heartless Act might be a dead card in this matchup. They're thinking or they quit. We put him in a predicament with our giant stack. I mean, 1 All That Glitters and we probably win. Most likely. They give up. We got the win. I feel like we would seal it from now, especially since they can't even cycle really with the Teferi because they have no cards in hand. So I think we might just have it. They might have just given up. There's nothing to think about for them at this point. I do get a little sad when people make you sit through it, but it's fine. I'll take my win. The deck did what I wanted it to. I think more than anything, our win this game just came from Satyr Enchanters getting to cycle through so much of our deck whenever we're playing those runes. Made it quite good. They had an interesting deck, though. The Dovin to protect the Teferi was actually pretty nasty. I've never seen Dovin used so effectively. It obviously worked specifically well against this deck because we don't run a wide breadth of creatures. Anything with that typically has 2 or 3 creatures out gets quite a bit better. And I'm guessing that's a similar concept for why you run to Vault. You're just getting little blockers. But I feel like they could maybe be better suited for Tibalt because they're not getting any value out of the Devils other than blockers. I feel like there's other things you could do better, you know? So then here we do this. It must be blocked. I think they have left the building anyway. And now I think we're just in a great spot. Okay, they are back and they are giving up. They just hit themselves with the Devil and have pretty much thrown in the towel here. It looks like they've completely given up. Hello? I think the deck's interesting. Don't know if it can make it very high in the ranks. Let me know if you guys want to test it out, tweak the list. I would love to hear what you guys think. It's fun. It's certainly fun. And we never even really set up a scenario where Fynn put pressure on. So I'm thinking that Fynn is maybe not the right way to go. You could potentially cut out green and add red. I was testing the list with Goblin Javelineer. It's the 1-mana red card, and if it gets blocked, that creature deals 1 damage to the blocking creature. So that gets really interesting with Rune. But actually, the reason I added green was also for Enchanter, so I don't think I actually wouldn't cut that. I think Runeforge, I don't think you could cut, and you can't cut black really. So I think it's the right colors, but maybe not Fynn. So thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section if you made it all the way to the end. Thank you, and have a great day.